everybody, welcome to the Artsy Dude channel. Thanks again for joining me here in the art studio in this great United States of America, somewhere located here in the United States. It's the place where creativity is more important than knowledge, but the acquisition of great knowledge, it's an art form, and the two go hand in hand. Quick shout out to C.W. Chanter, C.W. Chanter, man. He called me out last night on his live show and told some people to come over and view my place, and I'm very humbled by that. I'm just a little guy, 60 or 70 subscribers, and I'm very humbled by that he watches me, and he sent some of his following over here. I really do appreciate that. C.W. Chanter, if you don't know about him, you should go find out about him. He will pontificate for 3 hours at a shot, but you will not lose interest. You'll be enthralled, and you'll totally get into him. So check him out, C.W. Chanter. Also, a Mutimer 100, another guy or girl that I was talking with yesterday, and we went back and forth on a few theories about the alien agenda and gray aliens and things of that sort, and very, very interesting positions that he or she holds, and I find them fascinating. I hadn't thought of them in that way before, so a Mutimer 100, I'm not sure if he or she has a channel, but if you see the name out there, a Mutimer 100, definitely listen to what they got to say, because very enlightening, all right? So let's go over to the art table. I'm going to draw up one of these gray aliens, and I'm going to have a little discussion about what myself and a Mutimer 100 discussed on the alien agenda. Also, apologies up front. I've got a cold, so I'm snorting and coughing and hacking just a little bit. It's that time of year, I guess. But it's nice outside, and so we'll open up the studio doors and we'll go to the art table, all right? So join me over there. Hey, everyone. Artsy Dude. Yep. Glad you made it to the art table. Sitting here drawing today. A couple of more sketches, I think. I'm going to talk about gray aliens today. Sorry for the wobble on my art table here, but sometimes it happens, So I want to take a minute to thank C.W. Chanter. Yesterday, during his live show, he put in some more nice words for me, and he's been doing that lately, and I appreciate that. He's a good guy. He really is. I've been in some dialogue with him through the channels, and he's just put in some really good words for me, and I really do appreciate that. I look up to him. He's a talented man, super smart, well worth listening to. So if you get a chance, check out C.W. Chanter's YouTube channel. And for that matter, check out Joe from the Carolinas. He's got some good stuff going on all the time. Dark journalist, some of the heavy hitters in our little arena of ufology. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about gray aliens. I had a great discussion on Dr. Simeon Hines' recent video, and the guy I met on there was named a Mutimer 100. I believe it's spelled Amutimer and the number 100, a Mutimer 100. That guy has some very excellent, I guess you'd call him, posits. He's got some great ideas about gray aliens and where they come from and why they're here. And so we've been kind of, responding back and forth on the channel, on Dr. Simeon Hines' channel. But man, if that guy, if you can get a hold of him and listen to some of his stuff, it's pretty interesting. He's got some interesting stuff going on. We talked about aliens being smart or how advanced they are, and we talk about all of that all the time, but what we really don't know is, like with regard to gray aliens, you keep hearing this idea that gray aliens are these hybrid second generation beings that are manufactured by the mantid creatures, like the mantids, and that they basically do the bidding for the mantids. They have no feelings, or they don't know how to love, and that's one of the posits that is presented by a whomever 100, and he says, that they have no love whatsoever. They don't know how to love, and they have no feelings, and that's what separates humanity from these beings. They don't know anything about love or feelings, and it's one of the things that they long for, to learn how to get, and they'll never be able to get it because they don't understand it, that we were inherently born that way. And so I love that position that he takes, and his way he clarifies it, a whomever 100 that is, the way he clarifies it. He does a really, really good job of outlining that. And I wished I could spell it all out here for you right now, but I'm trying to draw, and so it's not always going to work real well. But he's got a great idea about that. Now, I've always thought, and I just came upon this thought recently about gray aliens, if they're hybrids, I often wondered that if these gray aliens are hybrids, and they indeed are made up of DNA structures and cellular manipulation by another species, if that's the case, I started thinking, what if the mantids, the mantis type beings, if they're at the top of the food chain that we're aware of, or that we've heard in terms of intelligence, what if they are like the General Motors of our galactic neighborhood? And that is to say, excuse me, and that is to say, what if they create hybrids the way General Motors creates cars, right? And they sell these gray aliens to whatever species wants to use them or purchase them, trade, whatever, however they work that. But what if that's the case? What if that's what they do? The mantids. They create, say, a number of different hybrids, right? They create a number of different hybrids, and each hybrid that they create has a specific task, or they have a specific programming capability that they can put in. Let's say they can put in some sort of a programming ability, and within that programming ability, each one does a specific task. So I guess what I'm saying is, what if the mantids are the General Motors in the galactic neighborhood? They build all of these different types of manufactured beings, and then they sell them. And so just like General Motors would sell cars to us, or to Russia, or to, South America, countries like that, that the mantids sell these gray alien type of creatures, the same way, to the highest bidder, or whatever they can trade for it. You know what I mean? It'd be interesting to find out for sure. Now, nobody knows that for sure. It's just a thought that I had. What if? What if they're all, these grays and these types of aliens are all made by one specific intelligent being you know, all made by one intelligent being, right? And then they just sell them out. What do you guys think about that? You know, you hear about all of these people who have abductions and stuff, and there's different types of gray beings, right? There's the ones that show up and abduct people against their will, and then there's the ones that are less, they don't have the eye structure like what I'm showing here. They have a little bit more rounded eyes. Nonetheless, they're still small grays, but they're different color too. And some of them, they say, they're almost like the Ebens, I guess they were called, you know, from that supposed training mission that we sent a number of our astronauts on back in the 60s, I think it was. Can't remember the name of that. Project Serpo, yeah. If you're familiar with Project Serpo. There was some aliens in there. They're Ebens. They were called Ebens. And those particular aliens had smaller rounded eyes and a little bit different color. I think they had a little bit more of a yellowish color, a lighter gray or lighter yellowish gray color, and less of a gray color that these things have. And I think these gray, they had some sort of an ear canal right here. They didn't have ears, but they had some sort of a ear canal, if I'm not mistaken. Something, you know, on both sides of their head. It was weird how that... And they always had these little bumps, and I don't know, they were something like, from what I can recall, something like, you know, some kind of a look like that they had, if I recall that right. Yeah, something like that. And small, skinny neck. Really small. This is kind of a wicked looking alien, isn't it? Kind of a mean looking one. Just trying to sketch some of the shading in here to give them a little bit more of a dimension so you can get an idea what I'm talking about. I have no idea if this video is going to work out. You know, I try these experimental things of mine that I think are being creative, and I don't even know if anybody cares about, you know, what I'm doing, but I'm having fun with it, I guess. And now I feel a little obligated because, gosh, C.W. Chanter, man, he's out there talking me up. Got to get a video out there. I haven't done one in a couple of weeks. You get busy with life, you know. You want to follow all this stuff. And then you get busy with life. And life takes you in many wonderful, fascinating places, but it's hard to keep up sometimes. Hard to keep up. You know? Definitely hard to keep up. So many different types of grays, as I said. I'm just kind of rambling on here as I'm drawing. So been listening to the Bob Lazar story a little bit more through Jeremy Corbell's channel. Haven't seen the movie yet. I'd like to, but I think I'm going to wait and see if it comes out on Netflix, you know. I've waited 30 years to meet Bob Lazar. I guess I can wait a little bit longer. You know what I mean? Jeremy's done a great job on that movie, from what I can tell, and it's gotten really good reviews. And you know, I wish him the best of luck with that because he's put a lot of time into it. And he's like me; he's a one-man band, and that's what I do. I mean, I work for I'm a lone gunman, so to speak. I work for a number of different companies. And I do a lot of different work, but for the most part, I'm my own guy, you know. I am my own guy, and I don't work with anybody else. I've worked in the corporate world for many years, so I know what that's all about. Excuse me. Speaking of the corporate world, I was in there recently doing some work on a project for a client, and everybody was sick with a cold, and they were hacking, and lo and behold, I came home on Thursday night, started coming down with that scratchy throat thing, you know. It's kind of crazy. Don't like it. Not at all. All right, so that was one of the creatures that I talked about, the alien creatures, and he was a gray and looked something like that. And these are the ones that I keep hearing are manufactured, and I just wanted to present that idea of mine that what if the Mantids are the General Motors of the galactic neighborhood, and they build all these different models. You know, they build all these different models of grays that have different capabilities, and they sell them to all the other aliens. So basically, they're the workhorse. They can send them on missions to do reconnaissance. They can send them on missions to collect biological samples, anything like that. And it doesn't matter if they lose them, if they lose their, you know, if they crash or if they get killed or anything. They're a manufactured life form. They're like a robot, so to speak, but in the flesh. You know what I mean? So it doesn't really matter if they get killed or not, in the sense that they're not a sentient. They're programmed sentience, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So, anyways, that's it for now. I'll hang it up. I'll quit rambling on. But thanks for joining me today, and we'll talk soon. Okay? Thanks. Bye-bye.